300 millimeters of rainfall in a short span of 24 hours, 550 millimeters of rainfall over the weekend, and all of this coming down on Mumbai. This is a month-long rain spell in less than 72 hours, 16 lives that have been lost. Mumbai, the city that never sleeps, it's once again come to a grinding halt with its infrastructure collapsing under the fury of the rains. Torrential downpour has left the city gasping, with railway tracks now flooded, passengers left stranded, and the traffic gridlocked and paralyzed. And even a monorail, rescue operations on your screens, a monorail that's stuck mid-air now for hours. In Navi Mumbai, panic gripped nearly 350 passengers after a monorail broke down on an elevated track, this near the Mysore Colony station. A power snag left the overcrowded rake in darkness. Rescuers tried towing it with another train, but jammed brakes complicated the operation. So far, over 200 passengers have been evacuated. It's a gruesome rescue operation. Take a look at it for yourselves. The fire tenders, at least 3 teams that earlier rushed to the spot, and using these large trolleys, they're now one by one rescuing more than 200 passengers who were left stranded on this monorail hanging up in the middle of the air. And efforts are on to rescue the rest and the remaining people over there.
पड़ना कोई नई कहानी नहीं है। मोनोरेल तो हमेशा बंद पड़ता है। एक बात अलग है कि इस बार बहुत ज्यादा ओवरलोडेड हो गया, इसकी वजह से टिल्ट हो गया। यहाँ पर खड़े होकर के 1 घंटा से ज्यादा हो गया। और सबसे बड़ी समस्या ये थी कि सफोकेशन ज्यादा हो रहा था। मैं तो अस्थिर था, लेकिन बहुत सारे लेडीज जो अभी भी फंसे हुए हैं उनको सफोकेशन हो रहा है, बहुत परेशान हो रहे हैं। तो खिड़की तो अभी लास्ट मोमेंट में अंदर से जबरदस्ती तोड़ा है, तब जाकर के थोड़ी सी हवा मिली है। नहीं तो 1 घंटे से मोनोरेल खड़ा था, वेंटिलेशन का कोई साधन नहीं। इतना पतला सा एक कांच का है, उसको हल्का सा घुमा करके, इतनी पैक पब्लिक है, वो थोड़ा सा वेंटिलेशन क्या काम में आएगा? कुछ भी काम में नहीं आएगा।
हाँ, नहीं कोई तकलीफ नहीं, सब सुरक्षित है। खाली किसी का बीपी बढ़ रहा है, किसी का तकलीफ हो रहा है। 2 घंटे से एसी चालू नहीं है, कुछ नहीं, सब बंद है। लाइट भी, हाँ, घबराहट हो रही है सबको। बहुत जन को चक्कर भी आ गए अंदर।
तो आपको कोई चोट नहीं लगी? आप पूरी तरह सुरक्षित हैं?
नहीं, मैं सुरक्षित है, खाली बीपी बढ़ गया था मेरा क्योंकि हार्ट का ऑपरेशन हुआ है।
1500 लोग, 500 तो डेफिनेटली रह गए। पूरा गाड़ी पैक था, क्योंकि आधा घंटे के बाद ये ट्रेन आई थी, और उसकी वजह से अंदर ओवरलोड हो गया। अंदर लोड के वजह से गाड़ी का जो एग्जॉस्ट है वो बंद हो गया। अंदर कोई भी आपातकालीन स्थिति के लिए कोई भी ये नहीं थी, चीज नहीं थी।
सब पेशेंट थे वहाँ पे, कोई ऐसा स्ट्रेसफुल नहीं था। बट ऑब्वियसली सीनियर सिटीजन और किड्स भी थे, तो प्रॉब्लम तो होती है सबको निकलने में। वो तो कम्युनिकेशन था, प्लस वहाँ पे इट्स साउंड प्रूफ, तो आवाज़ नहीं आती है, तो उनको हमको बताना पड़ा ये मोबाइल नंबर पे कॉल बैक करिए, तब ऐसे कॉल होता है।
एम्बुलेंस सारे आए हेल्प करने के लिए। वी डेफिनेटली वेयर देयर। आई एम अ डॉक्टर, मैं खुद खड़ी रही यहाँ कि अगर हेल्प चाहिए तो वी कैन हेल्प इट आउट। पुलिस ने भी बोल के भरा, बट एवरी टाइम हम लोग इससे कम्युनिकेट कर रहे थे टू गिव इंस्ट्रक्शंस। वी वर
पुलिस बार-बार अपील कर दी।
2 लेडीज थी जो सफोकेट हुई, बट बाकी काफी लोगों से उन्होंने काफी हेल्प किया। बट डिजास्टर मैनेजमेंट और अच्छा होना चाहिए।
ये जो भारी बारिश की वजह से, हार्बर लाइन बंद होने की वजह से मोनोरेल के ऊपर जो पैसेंजर है मोनोरेल में बैठ गए, मोनोरेल की तरफ डाइवर्ट हो गया, और इसलिए कैपेसिटी से ज़्यादा और क्राउड मोनोरेल होने की वजह से यहाँ पर मोनोरेल बंद हुई, और उसका जो पावर ब्रेकडाउन होने की वजह से इमरजेंसी ब्रेक लग गए, और इमरजेंसी ब्रेक लगने की वजह से ही ये मोनो बंद हुई है। और निश्चित रूप से ये जो हादसा हुआ है ये दोबारा ना हो, इसके लिए पूरी तरह कोशिश की जाएगी।
Well, that's the situation. The power failure halting Mumbai's monorail. And whilst we're telling you, take a look at that. This is how Mumbai came to a grinding halt. People pushing the cars, having to wade through chest-deep water, at least 12 inches of water across the central railway line that was shut down. It is the heartline of the Mumbaikars. And of course, Mumbaikar not for beginners. Rainfall is nothing new for Mumbai, but these are unprecedented scenes, needless to say. Not that this amount of rainfall has not come down heavily on Mumbai before, but then again, those questions that now come to light about our storm drainage systems and our climate resilient infrastructure building. The railway tracks They were completely shut down. The trains weren't moving, and people then resorted to taking matters into their own hands and walking on these railway lines, the medium gauge, the large gauge. That's how they were commuting between these railway stations. A lot of people that still got onto the railway tracks because not many were as privileged as those who got work from home. So many of Mumbaikars, many of them traveling from Thane, coming down upon Mumbai. Mumbai is about 1.5 crore people. Thane has got another 1.5 crore people. But people from Mumbai suburbs descend upon Mumbai for their daily work. There's a lot of burden on the maximum city that clearly has minimum infrastructure. In terms of preparedness, what was really done? That's the big question. On the ground, Mumbai's lifeline, the local trains, they came to a halt. Relentless showers submerged Central Railway's main and harbour lines. At Kurla, waterlogging forced commuters to abandon trains, walk along the tracks. From Sion to Andheri, Borivali to Thane, waterlogging crippled the city. Roads caved in, traffic collapsed, emergency services struggling to keep up. A red alert that has now been issued, warning that the next few hours could bring more chaos. In Thane, a car was swallowed whole by a flooded underpass, with desperate bystanders pulling people to safety. With all of that and the ordeal of Mumbaikars on display, Dr. Sudhir Krishna, former Secretary, Urban Development, Government of India, is with us on the broadcast. Dr. Krishna, you've been talking to us relentlessly when it comes to, the climate change warnings coming to us from the Himalayan belt, vis-a-vis all the cloudbursts and the flash floods. But come monsoon season, this is a picture that you can vouch for coming from the Mumbai city. What is it that we now need to do? The monorail is stuck up there. I mean, these are quite dangerous scenes, not just apathetic.
Well, I think the monorail thing we can discuss first because it is a relatively new happening, new unfortunate happening. And I think the drill for rescuing people, it can happen any time. I mean, monorail or metro rail, they can get stuck for one or the other reason. There is a drill, which evacuation drill is available. But somehow I don't think it has been done appropriately. I mean, the last coach has to be opened and a proper, ladder has to be put in a systematic good ladder where people can conveniently come out. And there can be ladder on both the sides also. These are all standard drills are there. I don't see it here and that kind of, even the ladder they have put is also not wide enough. So I think this is an opportunity to reflect and find out as to how it can be avoided in the future. It's a very important thing because monorail and even metro rail also on elevated tracks. This can happen, so it can get jammed here and there. So it is very unfortunate, and we are having more and more metro and monorails in the country. So it is high time that all sit together. All the metro rail and monorail, the operators.
Even the first responders, Dr. Krishna, there were a couple of doctors, I'm sure you heard their reactions as well. They're saying that, the fire tenders were quick to reach the spot, but disaster management has to be better. It has to be better. And on a day like today,
absolutely. And as far as rainfall is concerned, I think that there are all arrangements in terms of policies and principles are in place. But somebody has to take the charge of putting in place. For example, of course, this rainfall is extraordinarily heavy, no doubt about it. But the issue is that how soon the water can be cleared. But the way things are, I don't think the water will clear so soon. And it is very dangerous also. Not only it impedes the movement of people, even it is unhygienic also. It can cause the spread of diseases also because sewage water will mix up with the rainwater and it will mess up everything and it may cause all kinds of dangerous diseases spreading all over the city. So that is one thing. But what we have to do is now immediately, Mumbai has a special challenge because it is a coastal city and also the level is very low and also there are other challenges also for Mumbai especially. Otherwise, every other city, Delhi, Gurgaon, you name the city, Bangalore, whenever it rains, they get flooded. Mumbai has a special challenge because it is on the coast and there are certain areas which are low-lying. They are lower level than the land level is lower than the high tide level. But we are having construction in those areas also. So instead of those areas holding water, they are causing the more construction is causing more disruption to flow of water. That is one thing. And secondly, Mumbai especially had a lot of mangroves, like all coastal areas. Most coastal areas have mangroves, which impede the tidal ingress. But the mangroves are being removed in large number. And today the position is that in many coastal countries like Vietnam and Southeast Asian countries and China, they are cultivating mangroves on the coastline. But here we are removing mangroves from the coastline. This is a very unfortunate thing. So we have to take care that we are disturbing nature right, left, and center. That is second. Third thing is that the normal creeks and the normal natural nalas, they are also getting encroached and they are also collapsing because of ill maintenance and construction encroachment.
You're absolutely right, doctor, because across the world, the sewage flows differently and separately than the stormwater drainage systems. But here, it seems like everything flows together. We don't really know what's happening in terms of our carbon emission. You rightly pointed about, the erosion of the mangroves. It's the coral reefs in some area. It's the mangroves in these coastal belts. And it's not Mumbai alone. The Konkan belt, the Ghat area, central Mumbai, at least for the next 24 hours, under high alert. We're talking about Ratnagiri, Sindhudurg, Raigad, Thane, Mumbai. I mean, what else is left? So the next 24 hours are going to be very crucial. But you've raised pertinent points over here, Dr. Krishna.